I know who I am. I'm a dude playing the dude disguised as another dude.
Strength and honor, strength and honor, strength and honor.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Why so serious?
I could crush you like a worm.
At my signal, unleash hell.
Do or do not.
Long.
There is no try.
I'm letting it play out lately. Hey everyone, and welcome to Patriot Crusader Missions Christian Warrior Talk, episode number 46. It's good to have you here. Hope you guys had an awesome weekend. As usual, we've had a very busy weekend with a lot of news and a lot of great things happening. I just want to say God is great. God is good. God is great. God is amazing. And his blessings he is pouring out on us. We are so thankful for the people he's put in our life and the people who are really stepping up and making a difference in our life and allowing us to make a difference in other people's lives.
With that, would you like to hit the intro?
Thank you. All right, here we go. That's why you're here.
See you on the other side.
All right, welcome back. So on today's episode of Christian Warrior Talk Live on Patriot Crusader Mission, we're going to talk about the left's attempt to start a race war. And it's not for the reasons you might think. You know, we've all seen and felt and have been around and like constantly bombarded with the message that all things white are bad, right? And then if you want to take that and compound it even more, all things masculine are bad. Toxic masculinity, you know, I mean, Coca-Cola, if you still drink that, I don't know, you probably don't watch this show. But if you do, their employees were told to be less white.
Yeah.
You know, I believe one of the Black National History Museum put out a traits of whiteness, and they were oppressive, and there was like things like punctual, and you know, like
yeah.
I mean,
that's the same thing about the whole like math is racist. Like, since when is show your work? You know, and all of these things that they ascribe to white people.
So the reason why they're doing this is it's genius on what they've done. But we have to understand why they're doing it, okay? When you cannot win an argument on facts and with logic, you can't win an argument without facts and logic.
Yeah.
Right? So your only option is to destroy the credibility of the messenger that is delivering the facts and undermine their credibility by undermining their motive, right? So what the left has decided that because they can't win on facts and policy and legislation and logic, because nothing of the left works, they have decided instead to turn us all and everyone who disagrees with them into a monster.
Yes.
So they had a bunch of different options to pick from, but they chose two in particular that are extremely effective. When I break down the numbers on this, you're gonna see how effective they were in doing it. So one of the things when you want to destroy someone's reputation or vilify them is you want to make sure that can't come back on you. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah, so something that is, that excludes you from it, that you can't possibly
You immediately get to feel better.
Right? You get to feel better. Yep. And then what you accuse them of, it's best if you can't prove it.
Right.
Right? So meaning that you can call me a murderer, and if I've never murdered anyone, I'm good. But call me a racist. How do I prove I'm not a racist? Other than telling you I'm not a racist.
Right. Well, that's like that shooting, the Atlanta, Georgia shooting. He's not allowed to tell us that it wasn't an act of hate.
Right. Exactly.
We know better than he does.
Right. So that makes it extremely, potent, the fact that you can't prove that you're not what they're accusing you of being. Right. The other thing that we have to take into consideration is now with the Democrats in control or the left in control, who is the only legitimate threat to them? Mm-hmm. Right. And then, so if we can paint the opposite party and our number one threat with the same paintbrush that makes them monsters, then we've done our job and we can do whatever we want to them. It's the whole punch a Nazi thing.
Yes.
Right? So who would defend hurting a Nazi? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Most people say they would not. Yeah.
So their primary motive is to dehumanize a group of people to the point where they can do anything to them they want. Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, they have chosen whiteness or white people as the ultimate evil party in the world. We're responsible for nothing good in the world. Mm-hmm. We are responsible for the oppression of everything. Mm-hmm. Okay? And they have chosen men, straight white men to be in particular, right? But, and the other thing I want to say is when I say some of these labels, right, they are concerned about patriotic, Black men, Hispanic men, Asian men of all colors, but they have truly vilified white men, right? Yeah. If you look at the active shooter late, when they thought he was a white guy, it was the number one trending story on all over the internet, and then they killed it as soon as they found out he was a Muslim, right?
Right.
They ran with the Asian hate story, even though the shooter himself said it wasn't a racist thing. Yeah. It was a sex thing, and he killed white people too. So
I've heard some people try to say that the more dangerous to them is the patriotic minority.
Well, that's
the conservative minority,
of course,
because that's directly contradicting the.
Well, they're bulletproof.
Those groups.
They are bulletproof with that, right? So I mean, meaning that Black conservatives, like, that's why, I'm such a fan of, the Marine rapper Topher, Bryson Gray and company, because there they are, and they can't, they just call them Uncle Toms or whatever they want to call them, and those guys know how to handle that.
They're not good enough to
be, right. But the typical, they can't call them racists.
They try,
right? But to really nail this down, I want to explain why they are going after the whiteness, right? So we talked about, they can't win on logic, they can't win on facts, and they can't win on persuasiveness, so they have to destroy us. And then they also are threatened by veterans.
Yes.
They are also threatened by law enforcement, former and current.
Yeah.
And so I want to break down some numbers for you guys. Law enforcement is 85.2% male and 67% white. Mm-hmm. All right, 19% of them are veterans. All right, so there you have a vast majority of police officers.
And so those stats
are white.
Those stats, the first two were from 2019. The veteran stat was from 2017. So there might be some variances depending on which source you're finding.
But this is where you're going to see this. So if you notice during the Capitol, they made everyone swear allegiance to Biden administration, take a different oath. They called the military of anybody, the National Guard that came in there. Mm-hmm. So why are they messaging, and why is the FBI saying that the number one threat is Christian nationals? Well, it's because 81% of all veterans are white. 81% of people who took an oath to swear and swore an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic. You take that with law enforcement, right? You're talking about the only two professions right now, not the only two, but who can actively resist and actually push back on them in a way.
Yeah, with training, knowledge, and equipment.
Right. Training, knowledge, skills, and equipment, right?
Yeah.
And so that is why they are going after everything white. And that is why the media, is constantly harping on how oppressive and how bad white men are, right? And you just I wanted to go over this tonight because you just need to understand what they're doing and why they're doing that. It's because punch a Nazi. It's because that's what Antifa does. Antifa can get away with anything they want because they're going after Nazis.
They're saying they're doing it for their cause. Yeah. Yep.
And so if we understand all those things, if we understand what they're trying to do, then we can counter it, right? Now, they are doing everything they can to start a race war, right? They overcover or lie or mislead when to fit their agenda. The biggest case of this was Boulder that we saw.
Yep.
And then you want an almost an impossible mission. I challenge you to go out there and find black on white crime and see if you can find credible sources on that are not all over the place. And it's not going to be easy, particularly if you're searching on Google.
Black on white crime? White on black?
I mean, yes, no, I'm talking black on white crime.
Okay.
Meaning black people committing crimes against white people. You will not find that statistic easy. They bury it.
Okay.
They bury all those stories. Yes. They hide, when a white person does something because they say a white person committed a crime.
Well, to that point, so we just had it's been on the national news. If you've seen, there was in Richmond, so just kind of
Richmond, just
an
down
hour
the road
from us. A young girl, 14-year-old girl, 13-year-old girl, was walking home with her friend and was shot randomly by a black boy. I think the girl was 14 and he was 13, or vice versa. And I mean, the only motive that has been determined so far is that it was a race-driven hate crime. But if you even Fox, when they shared an article about that today, and there is no mention of his race, just that he's a minor, so they're not sharing his name. So. Yeah, I mean, if the roles were reversed, as we've commented before, it would absolutely be out there.
Well, and if you looked at, I think the New York Post ran with a story, the great white hate machine against the hate against Asians, and they put all the pictures of the people who've done it, and most of them, if not all, were, I don't think there was a white person among them. They were black or Muslim. Right? And I think some Hispanic as well. So again, not the narrative they want you to know. Right?
Yeah.
Now, this isn't for me to sit there and say, I'm not saying that black people are bad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you have people who are we all judge people based on the content of their character. I don't care if you love America and you embrace American culture and identity. I don't care what color you are, right? That's the left's gig. They're hung up on color. They're hung up on all that stuff. I don't care as long as you embrace our culture and you're cool, right? Right? As long as you're not trying to do anything wrong or bad or force me to do something that, that is against my beliefs.
Well, I think it's more, it's in how unjustly they are painting the white, especially white male, versus however they're trying to paint minorities. It's what they're saying about, white people to fit their narrative and their agenda there. That's the real crime.
Yeah. So it's an attempt to stoke hate. And what they want, and this is going to sound crazy, guys, what they want is they want more active shooters because they're playing the long game. If they can get enough, imagine if Boulder actually turned out to be a white guy. You know what I'm saying? They want white veterans to snap so they can come for all of our stuff. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is very interesting because a month ago, maybe, kind of around, I guess, shortly after Biden was in office, we're coming to kind of there haven't been that many active shooters, and you're like, well, there really have. It's just that wasn't
they're not covering them.
The story that was important at the time. It was COVID and Trump and all of that, and now they're trying to bring the gun violence back to forefront because of the gun grabbing, the gun control narrative. And so, I mean, like clockwork, we have seen.
Yep. We called it. We're like, it's coming.
So many more headlines out there about gun violence.
But then again, so Virginia Beach had a mass shooting. Mm-hmm. I think 8 or 9 people critically injured. Mm-hmm. Turned out it was 3 black guys.
Yeah. Just gang violence, right?
Gang violence on the ocean front, literally on the ocean front, that's a busy tourist town.
Yeah.
And you best believe if that was a white guy doing that, it would have been all over the national media. They buried that story so quick because it was just, it was just black on black violence, which is so horrible because every one of those lives are affected. All those people injured, whether they're gang members or not, they just, the left's ideology is pure projection of racism and looking down on the people that they're trying. I consider them my equals in all things. That's why I think this whole voting thing to go get an ID, black people are too stupid to go get an ID. No, anyone can get an ID. If no matter what color you are, you're too stupid to get an ID, you're not intelligent enough to vote. You can't understand the issues and you shouldn't be voting.
Well, I mean, they try to say it's about the system.
Make them free. Make them free, 100% free for people.
The transportation, they can't get there, yada, yada,
It's whatever, man. Yeah. It's just become such a point where everything is so dishonest in the government and everything is so ironic and contradictory and hypocritical. And it's disgusting. It's disgusting. How do we not get God's judgment for how we have corrupted and, what we were blessed with in America, and how we mock him and his, and the 10 Commandments and, everything else. It's just awful.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people are saying that, we've kind of run the clock out and there's no reversing where we are now. And then I believe you've referenced with Ken before, kind of there have been some key players in the Bible who've been able to go to God and appeal on the behalf of the people.
That's our only hope right now.
And change the course of what God was, had said was going to do. So maybe that could still happen.
That's our mission right now is to prepare, whether it's coming, whether Jesus come back tomorrow or in 1,000 years. It's our job to bring people to him, spread the gospel, and do the right thing until then.
Doing those desperate appeals to him on the behalf of our country. A lot of people are very kind of self-focused, or they're bubble focused on who they pray for and what they pray for. And I think it's encouraging everybody, those prayer warriors, to think bigger. Those desperate prayers that we talk about, that kind of on the national level.
Yeah, and I've talked about this a bunch of times before, how misplaced compassion is actually one of the most evil things you can do. If you want an example of that, look at the border right now. Mm-hmm. How much suffering and how much evil is being done along the border now with the drug cartels, hiring out children, rape, everything else, human smuggling, human trafficking, all those things, all based on the lie of compassion. And all it is for them to get power. They think they're going to get votes.
Yeah. Well, I know they say that those people wouldn't endure that if they weren't leaving, having to leave a horrible situation. And so it is the compassion thing of that we are saving them from a situation that's clearly so much worse if they're going to go through that. But
most of the males,
then you see the pictures of people who are coming to the border, and it kind of chips away at that story a little bit.
Yeah, and then you see who's coming through the border, and then you ask them why you're coming here for a better job.
Yeah.
Well, a better job isn't a reason to hop the border. That isn't seeking asylum. Mm-hmm. there are Americans who need jobs. There are Americans who need higher wages.
Especially right now.
And, so I don't know if you guys saw, I think 18 Republicans went down to the border.
I didn't see the number.
Yeah, Ted Cruz and company. Mm-hmm. And they put what looked like a Biden administration put this Hispanic female, she appeared to be Hispanic female in there, and was trying to stop Ted Cruz from filming. And like, for the compassion for the people, like they gave her so many great talking points, and he's just like, no. Compassion for the people is exposing what you're doing. I am going to video them. This is disgusting what you're doing. You are doing here, and I just wish he had pushed back harder on her. Like, don't Republicans let the left beat them with the compassion crap too often, man.
So, I mean, did he accomplish what he was trying to?
He was trying to, but I just think he could have done it. I mean, he got a 6 when he could have got a 10. Mm-hmm. But we still got to see the footage.
Yeah.
And the most.
Hey, Victor.
Hey, Victor, good to see you. And the most, disgusting part of this all is the press, the lapdogs, right? Mm-hmm. Like, why are they not? They're not even pushing back on not getting to cover the news.
Yeah, I mean, there were some questions at that press conference related to the border and stuff, but not really strong follow up when they got a dodgy answer.
Chris the Turd Wallace was actually hard on Jen Psaki.
And he got all sorts of praise.
Yeah,
right?
he got his first tough interview with a Democrat in 20 years.
See, guys, it's okay.
When it's like, it's your fault she's even there, dude. And we
won't put that all on Chris Wallace.
Well,
he certainly didn't help.
He made it much worse. You got to remember, he hosted debates.
Debate, yeah.
And drove the narrative and could have been part of the exposing what went wrong. Instead, he's part of the deep state. And all of them just making themselves irrelevant. Which is why this can't last.
You'd hope not.
Left, just like with Cuomo, the left is eventually going to eat themselves. I mean, his ninth accuser with photos this time. Like imagine, I just can't even, anyone else would be gone, but a Democrat can survive anything.
Any explanation for it?
Like cockroaches, they can survive anything, like any catastrophe.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, clearly I think they've prepared to throw him to the wolves on that, but I think maybe they're surprised that he's refusing to step down.
Yep.
I don't know.
So I want to pivot now to the culture war. If you guys have seen, I'm sure you guys have seen this story that the guy who does that country rap song, Old Town Road, Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
He had this new song come out that's in a new video that's absolutely terrible. It's
called Montero.
It's called Montero. Don't watch it. It's basically him, kissing himself. It's all, homosexual stuff. He's a stripper in the end, and he's giving Satan a lap dance, and it's just absolutely disgusting. He ends up killing Satan in the end, it looks like, and then taking his job.
He can, take over.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's there's a scene in it of he's being raised up to heaven, but then he chooses to take this stripper pole down all the way back down to hell.
Yeah. And it is, tough stuff. And, and again, this guy's prepared, has done stuff at elementary schools.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of the drama is right now. It's, as Jason and I were talking about earlier, and it's
so far, Victor,
speech.
yes.
It's your prerogative. Go and do that, even as disgusting and satanic and certainly not biblical as that is. But choose your audience. And this guy has done stuff for children, and he's now trying to backpedal from that and saying, I can't. It's not my job to control what your kids watch. That's your job as parents. I can put out whatever I want. And it's just the fact that he's done content that would have encouraged kids to be subscribers to his channel, and then he comes out.
And then he's out doing all that stuff, which, when it comes to free speech, it's his right to do all that. The pastors of America and the pastors and the religious right really, I think, screwed up in the 80s with censorship and all that stuff, and now it's being used against them.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to win the argument in the town square by being, representatives of Christ and preaching the gospel to get people to turn away from sin. Now, you don't have to hang out with it. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to do any of that stuff. In fact, you should flee it. But it's his right if he wants to do that to do it, and I'm fine with it. Right? It's just that it just shows you the state of our society. Like, so in tandem with that song, he made a deal with a company. I'm not going to give them any press. Where they bought 666 pairs, which is the number of the beast, of Nike sneakers, and they sewed, a satanic symbol on them. They're black and red, and they put a drop of human blood in each sole.
Yeah,
and they're called Satan's shoes. And and they thought this was a good idea.
And they're sold for like $1,000 something. They're being, this exclusive opportunity. And so again, it's just all the messaging in that on kind of that it's people will be clamoring to own these because of how exclusive they are. And again, that's just an opportunity for this such backwards message to get out.
Yeah, it just
there.
seems like a lyric out of like a Cardi B song, and they took it to the bloody shoes, taken to
literally,
so insanity.
They have red ink in there, and
so Nike, which I refuse to own or wear because of their other issues, including all the BLM garbage, and there's the fact that they use slave labor in China for all their things. They're suing Lil Nas and them.
Which
right
is
now,
good because I know that they were a little slow on coming out with that, and they were getting a lot of heat for, even though it's not their line directly, for not.
It's their shoe.
For not taking issue with it being put out in this way, and kind of comparing to other of the social stances that they've taken, but them being okay with this. But they have now said that they are coming after it.
So they're one of the most reprehensible companies out there anyway. So, but at least they have some morals on this. This was an easy one to cut away.
I mean, the immediate connection in my mind was, okay, it's Nike, China. Yeah. There's blood in these shoes.
Yeah, where'd the blood come
blood
from?
is it?
Yeah, is it the Uyghurs like they do everything else? I mean,
at least now it's not actually Nike that made them, but still.
And it's 666 drops. That's not all that much.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Nas X's.
Maybe. Probably.
But anyways, it's a big publicity stunt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's millions of views on this video.
And but again, I don't know how it's going to play for him. Again, the censorship crowd, I'm not going to ever be on your side on the censorship side. He can do that. It's just you thought he was something else, and he's not. And on the other side of this, you have these courageous, amazing culture warriors out there like Bryson Gray, the Marine rapper, Topher, and others, D-Cure, who are out there on the front lines doing this patriotic rap.
Yep.
And doing God-based rap, not cussing.
Yep.
Putting out music about Medals of Honor winners and people and heroes who've died.
Yeah, that's TMR's.
And that's
latest
TMR's.
thing, right?
Latest stuff is like really good. I mean, he's really diving into his military roots and basically writing rap songs based off of the stories of people who've won the Medal of Honor.
That's very cool.
Super cool. And there's others, but I mean, there's a guy who's a part of that is, I think his name is Tyson James. And, he's a positive Christian guy. And I'd love to have him on and just to kind of talk to him about this. But he came out and he was taking some swings at NF today and saying all things. Well, one, NF would mop the floor with him as far as skills, talent,
musically.
Everything. Yeah, I mean, he's, and just because NF doesn't want to get into this, you don't want everyone doing it. It's your thing. Like, NF has gone out of his way to be a decent role model. He doesn't cuss and all these other things. And again, he's a human and he's done whatever. And I like his music. It's brutally honest. And this guy's ripping him for all this stuff. And it's like, dude, instead of tearing somebody else down, why don't you just rap better?
Yeah, well, and that's what's been so nice
that's the part that kills me.
Topher and TMR and all of that, and the kind of that community that they've been so supportive of each other. So that's unfortunate to see, I guess.
Rap Attack, hey, Steve Riley, good to see you. How does Christianity view the LGBTQ? They view it as sin. And when you get into transgender, they view it it's a mental illness because you are what you are. When they dig your bones up in 1,000 years, it's not going to be what you're preferred to be. It's going to be what your DNA says you are. I can't pretend I can't identify as an Asian woman because I'm a white male. Mm-hmm. Right. Am I my age or am I really 16 because I identify as 16? It becomes imaginary world and it's not true. Now, I didn't have any problem with what were they called? Transvestites. Mm-hmm. Right. Because they were playing a role. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, they were in drag. I mean, it was, it didn't cause me to suspend my reality. I wouldn't do it, but I respected them, and it didn't cause me to identify them as something they weren't because, we all know RuPaul was a dude. Right. Right? So, again, I think it comes down when you're trying to force me to say something that's not true. Mm-hmm. But
as far as a Christianity aspect of that, take out the personal opinion or whatever, it's Christianity views it as it's a sin. It's against God's
rules.
And, but sin is sin is sin is sin, and I think a lot of people will go and judge that more harshly and ignore their own.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is their sin is between them and God. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not my business to get up in their business, but I'm not going to support it. I'm not going to condone it, and I don't want them teaching it to my kids. Mm-hmm. So, Frap Attack, I hope that answers your question there. If that is, it seems like a legitimate question from you. I don't recognize you in the channel yet, and if you want to continue along that conversation, I'm more than happy to do it. But the main thing is it just shows you how far down we've come as a society to where, there's always been crazy things going on. I remember Ozzy Osbourne biting off bats' heads and all these other crazy things that he's done at concerts and all those things. So music artists have been doing publicity stunts forever to try to get more press for, what's that do? It gets more press, so more wounded people gravitate towards them. Mm-hmm. As a former heavy metal, somebody used to listen to Slayer and the most wicked, evil music on the planet, the more decrepit they were, the more I could identify with them because I self-loathe myself so much. Yeah. Right? Yep. And it's like a magnet. It just sucks you in because they're angry and you go there to get even more angry. I like Yat. I don't know what that is, but the fact they used to install stripper poles 27 years ago, Victor. I'm glad you changed careers.
Yes, disregard that.
So anyways, Lil Nas X. Instead of going out there and complaining about these guys, support the rappers that are going out there and are lyrically that your kids can listen to. Mm-hmm. Right? Thanks. I just saw a movie trailer for The Unholy coming this Easter and felt very disturbed. I haven't seen that, but Frap Attack, if you want to watch something good, The Chosen Season 2 premieres this Sunday at 8 o'clock. Unless you support episode 1. Literally The Chosen is the most important movie film thing I think in
TV series.
Yeah, ever. Mm-hmm. And maybe the most important. It was the most impactful on me of anything I've ever seen. Period.
Yeah, we were supposed to watch it all, season 1, all again this weekend, and we ended up driving to Tennessee instead. So we have to.
Yeah, so we got to start binge watching season 1 to get our Jesus fix on, and I'm just so looking forward to seeing Jesus again. I just. It's just so powerful and well done. I just hope I mean, I know they were under the COVID thing. I just hope it stays as good. Season 1 was amazing.
It seems like, from everything that I've seen in the behind the scenes stuff and little clips and whatever, it seems like that they are putting that same level of painstaking care into each scene, each episode, to make sure that it has the integrity that they're now expected to have.
We also have some pretty big news, and Victor, this goes out to you. It looks like I'm going to be doing a podcast for Mike Lindell. So we're very excited about that with the Lindell Recovery Network and his new social media platform. I'm going to be partnering with an amazing gal named Melissa. Who, the reason why I can say it is they've been mentioning it on Steve Bannon's War Room every time she's on there now.
This guy is swimming with the big fishes
So this little show of 1,007 subscribers has got me noticed, and we're going to be interviewing some really big people and saving some lives and introducing people to Jesus. We're still always going to be
replacing this.
PCM is always going to be here, and that's mine. But I'm going to be hosting one for them and running it for them. And I'm super, super excited, super honored to be working for a patriot and a champion for Christ.
Yeah, it's going to be an incredible experience. It's pretty cool when your new boss, when you try to have business calls with him, is, he's with President Trump at
the moment.
I'll have to talk later. Okay.
Yeah. What? You don't want to walk out of the room with Trump to talk to me? I don't know why.
But that's when we opened the show. We were talking about kind of God is good and God's timing, and that's kind of what all these conversations often come back to, is God's timing and his.
This was an opportunity we weren't even looking for, guys.
Wasn't even looking for, and it came about. Maybe month and a half ago is when the conversation started, and then at the time we knew that we were selling this house, and kind of around then is when we went under contract. I guess a little bit more recently than that, but and then so we were thinking that we were going to have to rent, and they were like, well, gosh, maybe if we're going to be having a job, or Jason's having a job, are we going to be able to buy? And then the timing of finding this property last Friday, like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
And the fact that it had been on, and we saw it when it came on a week ago, and we were going to want to do something about it, but it got snatched up right away. This job wouldn't have been lined up again, so we wouldn't have been able to get the financing approved yet. And so God made it happen that it came back on. The contract fell through. It came back on just in the moment that we were able to do something about it.
So I drive back.
Amazing.
I drive back down to Johnson City, Tennessee on Thursday for the inspection, and then come back. Mm-hmm. And we just keep marching along. But God is so good, guys. And again, this all started happening. I can't state this strongly enough to you, is when I stopped trying to control everything, took my hands off the wheel, and just said, send me, God, send me. My vision is never going to be as good as your vision. So send me. And once I stopped fighting that, which was not easy, because we all have our habits and our tendencies, and we fall back into them so easily.
Well, and every moment that we've struggled since that kind of turning point is when we've tried to take it back into our own hands. Yeah. And we're like, nope, stop. We're screwing it up.
So, Victor, I don't know what you mean when you say we're trying to get YouTube silver button reinforcement, YouTube silver button trying to your numbers. This is going to grow, because I'm going to be able to talk about PCM on the other podcasts, and we're going to be interviewing like A-list celebrities over there. And it's all Jesus focused. That is going to be about, bringing hope. Whereas this show is about preparing people for the, and walking that Christian protector, Christian warrior lifestyle. Yeah. There's going to be dealing with a lot of recovery and addiction. As you guys know, I come from a family of addicts. My brother died due to heroin complications. So it's really going to be amazing. And I'm just, like I said, Mike Lindell has been in the crosshairs of the powerful on the left for a very long time. And for a guy who was a former junkie who makes pillows and beds and all these sheets and all these other things, for him to be the champion right now, fighting him and Trump, I mean, I just think it's amazing. And the courage, like when we were, debating on should we step out of the shadows into the ring. I remember how hard it was me, and I was nothing compared to him. He's got 2,500 employees that depend on him.
Yeah.
So
it's an inspiring story, and I think we've said this in the previous week or two, support him as much as possible because he has taken a huge hit. With
Bed Bath & Beyond pulled
his products.
So for all you guys who understand sales pipelines, like right now, I think his profits went up over 50% because it's a moment of passion.
Yeah.
And like Trump people are going to be buying that because it's on their mind and they're thinking about it. But it's the sales that happen over time because it's in Bed Bath & Beyond and all these places. So those are the ones that really...
well, and he's coming out with this social media platform as well, called Frank.
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 Yeah, it's Frank something, but and here's the thing: is I went into the website and it's like flag, don't go here, don't go.
Really?
I put in frankspeech.com is what I think it is.
Yeah, I think of the platform.
And I was in there and it's like, this site is not safe, blah, blah, all this stuff. So they're even trying to squash it there. He probably doesn't have the certificates and all that back end set up yet. But I'm not sure if Trump's
in on it.
It is a part of it, or if Trump, like if he's going to be the Twitter and Trump's going to be the Twitter and he's going to be the Facebook or whatever. I don't know how it's going to go.
I can't remember which style platform it's mimicking. Is it a Twitter like?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm not sure exactly which one it is at all. Man, I'm getting like crazy hot from your mic. You've been regular. I hope this sound has been good. Lauren's mic's been like super hot tonight for some reason.
Back up.
Yeah. Because I've been constantly turning you down as I watch it as Peg. So let me know if she's blowing your arrows out, guys.
You're red too.
Am I red? Right? Yeah, me too. So okay, I just turned mine up by accident. All right, but so frankly speaking, or frankspeech.com, is where it's gonna, he's talked about a lot of things, and again, I hope it works. I'm excited for it. We've seen.
I know one podcast that's going to be on there.
Yeah, exactly.
2 podcasts.
Yeah, but the main thing is we got to see how it's going to be, what's it, and its staying power and everything else, because like. We went over to we've got 1,000 followers over there.
Yeah.
And big, but it doesn't really do anything. Like it's
that community.
It's the closest thing to Facebook I've seen. But as soon as Facebook stopped banning, everybody went back because that's where everyone is, except for people who don't have anything, like they don't have a company. They're over there just to talk conspiracy theories. Or whatever, Yeah,
there wasn't any reason to stay in a larger community.
Right. Whereas we have a business, we have a podcast, we're trying to reach people. So going there or speaking to the same people over and over again, I mean, I can put edgier content over there.
Yeah.
Which is great. Which, we got our first warning the other day. So during the Wednesday episode last week, as most of you guys saw, when you're live streaming, you don't ever get a chance to edit anything. And Ken and I had one of our best episodes. I mean, I think, he literally took a sledgehammer to Andy Stanley's face on that. And, but YouTube gave us a warning and pulled the content, and I appealed it and they put it back.
Because of a mention of COVID.
Yeah, because of COVID or vaccine talks or whatever. And they pulled it, and then I appealed it and they put it back. And then 3 hours later, they banned it again, and then I appealed it again, and they put it back. So it was crazy. But we don't have
minions and algorithms and YouTube that just can't get themselves straight.
And it's just like we're pretty good about being disciplined. I didn't think that he had said anything more extreme than anything that we've commented on in our own shows. So.
of The Chosen, Steven.
Oh, Steve, and it only gets
keeps
better.
Getting better.
Oh my God, it gets so much better. So you need to get your up to episode 8 done by Friday, by Sunday. We get to sneak preview it on Saturday because we supported the program and donated money to it. So we'll let you know. We'll do a reveal.
We won't give you any spoiler alerts.
We won't give you any spoilers, but hopefully I'm going to get on and be like, this is epic. So Victor just texted me. Let's see what he has to say. Go ahead, babe. You got it.
So the property's awesome. We went down in there and walked on, what day did we go? Saturday. And it's a beautiful spot. And so we're so excited. It's going to be a lot of work, though, guys. So if you guys have any practice homesteading, how to pick out the right tractor, clearing, logging debris.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
What else did we need to learn?
Well, I mean, I'm sure we're going to have water damage in the ceiling.
Yeah. Digging a pond because the water in the pictures
So this is what we need the most help with immediately.
Not actually pondy.
I have never owned a tractor before. I've owned a zero-turn mower that I mow at top speed, and now I am going to be running an excavator. Now I've rented Bobcats, and I put in a retaining wall, 100 cubic yards of earth I put in before, all that stuff. But this is 44 acres.
44 acres feels big, guys.
It is huge, man. I mean, there's like 10 ranges in there if we want it.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, Steve.
Yeah, we were walking through the woods being like, you could do all of your warfare practice stuff.
Yeah, so, Victor, I see you. There's all kind. I mean, we could do some force-on-force airsoft there or with simunition. Zip lines. I mean,
he immediately got on site and he was brainstorming where to put the church.
Yeah.
And where to
parking.
Rip up my beautiful open field with parking. Yeah. I like that field.
Yeah. It's a green field straight out of Ireland. It's like a gently sloping, wavy hill.
Yeah.
It's
but for
really
real,
cool.
guys, we have no idea what we're doing.
Like none.
None.
Like I'm going to get out there.
I can barely keep a plant alive. And now he's talking chickens and goats and
we have
cows
a turkey pen. So,
how to pick out the right tractor, because that's a heck of an investment.
Yeah. I mean, it's between 30 and 40 grand for like the tractor that we need. That's a truck.
Guys.
But I mean, we got to put up, I don't know how many acres is 48 acres of fence. Is that miles of fence?
We're not going to fence the whole thing to start.
Not to start, but eventually. I mean, I've got to get my 15-foot barbed wire fence up around the compound. We're building a compound, peeps.
Hi, neighbors.
We love you. You can come in when we want you.
Welcome to the neighborhood, barbed wire.
Barbed wire fence going up.
Great first impression.
Yeah, and then we have this giant swampy pondy thing that we need to consolidate.
Victor, I clear roads after logging the lane to build roads and clear area for pole barns and cabins. So you've done some of this, Victor. Is that what you're saying?
If you've done some of this, brother, we have nothing. Like they took all the logging lumber and they left the roots. So
all the stripped, like the bark and the.
So we got all this stuff that we're going to burn, obviously, but getting it all into piles to burn is the key.
Yeah,
it's going to be one heck of a bonfire. We're going to be having like barbecues every week.
Gosh. Yeah. And then what do we do after? Do we try to put trees back up there? Do we just put grass up there? Let it do its thing?
Mother Nature's going to do its thing, and then we have to decide if we want to fight it or whatnot. So, I mean, that hill right now is not green, but by June it'll be green.
Yeah.
And particularly if we throw a bunch of seed up all over the place.
So we'll figure out. So anyone who's watching, if you have any pointers on what to do with 44 acres, let us know. So, and then just initially prayers on this inspection going well.
Yeah, we're just praying for that it's not a black mold, condemnable building. I mean, there was a family living in there, so I don't think it's going to be.
It seems from the decent shape on the outside. We're hoping it's just
solid brick house the whole way through. It's a ranch, so the basement is cinder block basement. We're hoping that we can finish that to get some square footage out of it, and then build the log cabin Viking lodge on the hill. That's what I'm talking.
Not yet.
With $1 million views, the views are sick. I know you worked for the Forest Service, but that doesn't mean you're the bulldozer guy. I thought you were like a cop in that. Because I know when I was a cop, I didn't drive no bulldozer.
Stumps are burning.
Yeah, we're burning the stumps and the roots and all that other stuff. But there's a lot of it, a lot of it. I won't show you my legs as we were climbing up the side of the hill. I get shredded.
More than half the acreage was logged.
Yeah, it's great. Check your state fencing laws. If you were on a state road, they may pay for fencing to protect the road from. Awesome, Kitty. Yeah, we are
on a state.
No, we're not on a state. We're like on a windy county, small county road. But we would totally be up for that.
Well, yeah.
We're going to put privacy fence up front.
The acreage is all kind of back, it's up next to other people's acreage, not up next to roads.
Hey, Kitty, I haven't seen you on the show. Welcome to the program.
I don't think I've seen her once or twice.
I mean, and then the other thing is I got to get a bunch of boulders because I want to line the front of the property with boulders to block cars because, we don't want people driving up on our lawn or
we're around a little bit
of a curve and somebody drinking, going fast might end up in our living room. It's not that close, but
yeah. So we'll see. So it's exciting. So get through the inspection. Loan, which we should have confirmation on in the next couple days. Inspection on Thursday.
Yeah.
And then we can say it's ours.
It's done. Yep. And we can say it's done. And then hopefully we'll be moving in or around the 29th / May 1st.
Yeah. God has made it so we're not going to be homeless.
We're going to be in fast internet country. So all this blurry 720 crap you're getting, it's going to be in HD. Thank God.
Yeah.
With none of all the hiccups we used to have. So we've got a gig download and I think 40 at least up.
45, I think they said, yeah.
So we are looking forward to being in the modern era with not dealing with CenturyLink and their 30 megs.
And we also have a lot of confirmation on people who are moving. Johnson City is the hub. People I haven't even told about it and they're already moving there. Yeah.
It's crazy.
So you guys hurry up and get your land, get your house because they're going like hot potatoes.
We would love to have an awesome community there. Again, talking to the realtors, they're all say it's all conservatives moving there. Johnson City and the Tri-Cities, Johnson City, Kingsport, and Bristol is this amazing community. Each city's got its own personality.
Yeah.
And it's great, man. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm going to go get me a Kubota tractor. Giant Kubota tractor. I can't wait to be back there. I'm going to have a straw hat. I grew up with this much grass in the sidewalk in front of in front of the house through a crack. Now 44 acres in a tractor with a straw hat. I'm going to have to start saying y'all.
You already said y'all. Y'all is the most convenient word ever. Sweet tea. Jeez Louise. He's going to be missing podcasts because he's going to just be out there on his tractor.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Plus it's got booming internet there too.
Oh, he'll be doing podcasts from the tractor.
I'm going to be doing live streams from the tractor. Be like,
all right. Stay tuned,
that one back to Boston. I went tractor.
Yeah. I have to get rid of that.
Oh man, I wonder. Hopefully I don't wreck my tractor first day.
Tip it down the steep hill.
Well, I'm going to stay away from the steep hill until I'm going to work all the other stuff first. And then, or flip it in the pond.
Yeah. Who here has chickens? Should we get chickens?
I love to get chickens. I know they they eat
the ticks.
The ticks.
I'm afraid our dogs will eat the chickens, kill the chickens. Hi, Darren.
Darren, no, man. There is my brother Darren from Boone, who is our number one handyman. He's coming down to help us swing a hammer.
A God-given gift because he's going to be coming and fixing up the house for us.
Yeah, Darren is our lifeline. Spiritual warfare, the great deceiver deceives greatly. Ephesians. I think he's a little bit behind in that episode,
maybe so.
Yeah, he's probably watching from behind. What are the temps during December to April? Not bad. It's slightly cooler than Charlottesville.
Yeah, I'd say like 30.
They get less snow than
average.
Charlottesville. Yeah, they get less snow than Charlottesville.
It's okay. Well, snow's okay. A little bit. It's good. Why, Victor? Are you wondering about crops or are you wondering about animals?
Yeah, I mean, well, we know there was a ton of bears on property, but since they logged, they probably all left somewhere.
That's probably all gone.
You know, they just shuffled over. But as that stuff comes back, they'll come back. Mm-hmm. We're gonna get bees. Imagine, I mean, oh my God, we're gonna be a disaster.
It's gonna be horrible. People who are from there are gonna, they're the out-of-towners who think that they're going to come and start a farm.
But I am going to plant a flag securely up on that hill. Big flag.
Okay.
Now we're going to have the American flag.
Yeah.
Tennessee state flag.
Yeah.
PCM flag.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to let them know.
Good. Yeah, he said moving into, he said the first thing we're going to do is we're going to shoot on the property so everyone knows that we have our guns.
Yep.
And then what else did you want to do? You wanted to put out all of the seal stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to hang all my
flags.
Fly
all the colors high and proud so people say don't mess with
so they know that we're cop, seal, guns on property. They heard the guns. We know how to shoot them. Good to go. And then we have a barbecue.
And barbecue.
Hi, and invite them over. Brandy, hey brother, good to see you. Chickens are in a fenced area. I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
chickens in a fenced area.
I like the ones that are on wheels and you can move them around.
Yeah. No, that's the coop, but I think then they roam around the coop and come in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll probably lose a chicken or two, but
yeah, we're gonna save so much money on eggs, though. I mean, Bee is an egg-eating machine.
Yeah,
you've turned her into like eggs are her thing.
Eggs are good.
And fresh eggs are so much better.
Hanging out in a hammock in the back 30 acres sounds good.
Yeah,
next to
man.
A bog.
Yeah, where the holy smokes, it brought me back. I don't know if you guys have ever been to Puerto Rico, but they have some peeping frogs there. The beep, 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 whatever.
Yeah. The sound of spring. That's what you
sound of spring, and all you hear is these frogs just going crazy. I mean,
this
loud.
is like a many acre bog at the back of.
Yeah, it's like a 5 acre bog
at the back of the property between the field and the woods. And yeah,
bog I wouldn't say bog. I would say marsh.
Yeah. We'll have to see what it turns into.
Yeah.
Right now it's like a wasteland back there. It's very sad.
And it's funny because, buyer beware. The real estate agent pictures made it look like a lake.
Yeah. So this is what you get when you literally go on contract sight unseen is you get there and things, of course, are not quite what they are shown in the pictures.
Yeah.
So they show this like beautiful body of water. And you get there,
it's
and
crystal clear. We're like,
oh my
on the
God. Dogs.
Yeah,
like not even touching bellies, and it's basically just like a runoff puddle, large runoff puddle from the. But that's what the tractor's for. We're gonna dig a pond.
So a couple things. We are having a bonfire here at our house in Virginia on.
Can I read this? Chris Scott. Hi, Chris Scott. He messaged here, and it hit it because I wasn't sure if we wanted him to see. It says, Nas sucks. That's the rapper. So do racist people. I like white people. My wife likes black people. What are we to do?
You guys
you
are
do
the best.
You, Chris Scott.
You do you.
You guys have figured it out.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're having a bonfire. Did we say, was it the 17th, 19th? What is it?
17th.
The 17th of April. We're having a bonfire here at the Perry residence in Earlysville to say goodbye to all of our Charlottesville peeps.
So is this an invitation?
Yeah, it's an invitation.
Open invitation if you
want
to
invitation if you want to come to Charlottesville, drive to Charlottesville, have a good time with us. We are all about it, and would love to see you. And then we are moving. I think the pods get here the following Monday, the 19th. So if anybody wants to get a great workout in and load that pod up, we're all about it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we did this first we did it in May, then we did it in October. Now we're doing it in April.
Smash the like button. Thank you there, Chris. Which hopefully everybody in here, if you do hit the like button, it'd be a great friend, favor to us. So, and then, so it's going to get here on the 19th, and then we're going to load it, and they leave on Friday, the 23rd, and then they're on the way to Johnson City, Tennessee.
No turning back.
I can't wait to be a Tennessean. Like, I am going to embrace the heck out of that culture.
We talked on Friday about what Kristi Noem kind of failed at with the legislation there in South Dakota.
Her
about transgender athletes, and you saw a headline that Tennessee signed a very similar bill. So you were like, my new home state.
Yep, Tennessee banned it. Yep. And then Kristi Noem's legislature just said you can't do your little style and review change. So she's got to either veto it or sign it now.
I think it's dead at the moment because there is constitutional, I was reading some articles about it, that in the Constitution she can't go back and vote on the same thing twice. So she says it's essentially consider it vetoed. Is the last thing that I read, and she's having to convene a special council or something to try to amend it.
Well, I still don't understand that. I still think she really messed up there.
I'd say based on what the legislature did with it, yes.
Well, I mean, went to 68-2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. That one state. I mean, I don't care if you have to sacrifice 1 year of college sports for girls.
Well, I think the kicker is that I don't know the details about what some of these other states, Tennessee included, have signed. It's kind of the similar concept with transgender athletes and all of that, but I don't know if there's any key differences. But the fact that other states have gone ahead and enacted
makes
some
her
of
look
these
weak.
Bills, it certainly highlights her not. So maybe she can continue to articulate a justification for it, but
I think it's a shame. I just expected so much better from her, But
we're going to Tennessee, not South Dakota. So
yeah, exactly. It's a little warmer in Tennessee.
I'm all about it.
I've gotten soft. I have to, but this is the first winter where I was cold.
Yeah.
Like even in the house out there in the cold bothered me. This is the first time.
And this was the winter that we were supposed to be in Maine too.
I can't even imagine. That I would have expected, but what here was kind of cold bothered me for the first time. I mean, I am normally, the heat doesn't go above 65 when I'm around. It's like in the 60s is my paradise.
I'm
and
the one turning it down.
I was jacking up to say, well, you hot flash all the time.
I do.
It could be 40 out and you hot flash.
No, I have not hit menopause, guys.
You've been hot flashing since when?
High school, at least. So all my old lady friends, I can relate.
I told you, Lauren was born 80.
I was.
Yeah, she's been an old soul since day one.
I am.
She came, was born and was already crocheting.
That's why when I have, where is it?
Oh yeah, you've already got white hair right there.
Gray. Gray. Is it this side? I can't remember.
Over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Spreading.
Okay, it's all right. It's gray. We're good.
Well, this Wednesday, I think we're going to have Pastor Graves on. I haven't confirmed with him yet, but I would count on it. He was surprised that he's like, I don't even know what I said to get banned. But again, that's all back. That's all I really got for today. Is there anything else you want to cover?
I think that's most of it. I mean, there have been a few other little headlines, but they're not.
All right, guys. Well, we have such an exciting few weeks coming up. I mean, holy smokes, we're going to be in Tennessee in like 30 days.
Yeah.
Which means we got to pack up this house. We got to do all that
29th.
stuff.
In 1 month, 4/29.
Whoa.
We are kicked out of here.
Yeah.
And hopefully we are handed the key to the new house. So good stuff.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much. Lauren's going to pray us out.
It's your turn.
All right. She was getting practice. She needed it. Now she's like the best prayer. So, dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you now. We are so thankful, Lord. We thank you for this audience. We're thankful for the community we've built. We're thankful for all the people out there right now who have come together for us to talk about issues that are important to us, your Christian warriors here on earth, Lord. We ask that you go out to everyone who's watching the show, whether live or, in the future at some point, and meet them where they're at, Lord, and guide them to you. Guide them deeper into their understanding of you and send them where you want them, Lord, because they desire to serve you. Lord, we also just want to thank you for the countless blessings you've heaped upon us and our family. And I also want to pray a prayer of protection over Mike Lindell and President Trump, and that you would wrap your arms of protection around them, and because holy smokes, it's the world coming for them. So I pray all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Love you.
Have a good night.